name is Cora Williams, and I'll be your ghost tour host for Disneyland Ghost Tours. You may be wondering how I got in a position like this, and oh my goodness, folks, it is a doozy. It all started freshman year biology class. My lab partner, his beautiful name was Spencer Banks, and he ended up being my fiance. We started dating after freshman year, and then we were absolutely inseparable all throughout high school. Our senior year of high school, we became prom king and queen. After that, we attended UCLA, and we went to like all the frat parties, all the football games. We just had the most amazing group of friends. We were the it couple. It was absolutely wonderful. I felt like I was truly living a Disney fairy tale. On our spring break trip, our senior year of college, we went to Disneyland on a little vacation, and that's where he ended up proposing. It was amazing, and I have the largest ring to prove it, folks. It was great. After graduation, we ended up going to Disneyland to be engineers on the Haunted Mansion ride, and one morning, my entire life flipped upside down. We were training some new people, and the guy in the control group wasn't really sure what all the buttons did, and so when Spencer was tightening the bolts to make sure that no civilians were flying off when we were open that day, he was down there, and the guy in the control booth hit the buttons, and he was just down there, and he was reaching for my hand because he was down there, and the ride was going, and I couldn't stop it, and I was like, Spencer, no, it's okay, and oh, sorry guys, I'm oversharing a little bit again. Anyway, so that's enough about me. Let's get on with our ghost tours, shall we? Woo, okay, hopefully that doesn't happen again. Anyway, lights, yay. So, first on our stop, we have an absolute fashion icon. Let me tell you folks, I am absolutely envious of this woman's entire wardrobe. She's probably one of the bitchiest villains in my opinion. She's got a little bit of a tude, but you just gotta respect her choice of fashion. She's very opinionated. I really like her though. She doesn't get along with everyone at the time, but there was also lightning in the back I could see. I did, just so you know. So yeah, you have to look at what she's wearing from the head to the toes. Absolutely gorgeous. And her hair though, am I right, people? So right here, ladies and gentlemen, we have Cruella DeVille. Darlings, how lovely it is to see you all. Gather round. We have some rather important things to discuss. You all look lovely. Was that nice enough? Yes, ma'am. Right, well, on to business. I've gathered you here today because I've started a new initiative, one that I think some people shall like far better than my last. Ooh. Oh, darling, don't you remember? I'm reformed now. I'm better. I understand how some might have seen a coat made of puppies as a bit of a sensitive topic, poor souls, but I've moved on. I'm a woman of the people now. Now, I've focused my efforts on ridding the world of things no one likes, so if you'd like to help me, you'll get me the skin of people who put the toilet paper on backwards. No one likes them anyways. No? You don't want to rid the world of backwards toilet paper? Right. Well, that's all right. I have another coat in the works anyways. Forgive me if this one isn't as fleshed out, but I wasn't expecting such fashion critics here tonight. You see my next coat, and this one is really bad. Seriously, you'll be thanking me for this. My next coat will be made out of the people who don't take the full peanut butter lid off, like they unscrew the top and then they peel off the tin foil, but they leave the little lid bits on the edges so that when they scoop it out, they get it all over the lid bits, and then when you scoop it out, you get it all over your hand. And don't interrupt me! Are you really trying to tell me that none of you have experienced the innate rage of using a peanut butter jar with lid bits on it? Right. That's all right. What about ice cream biters? Any ice cream biters here tonight? Raise a hand. Embrace it.
anyone here will let me make you into a coat anyways. What about people who wear slides in the winter? Oh, that one's really bad. Bet none of you would fess up anyways. What about fuck boys? Frat boys, if they're not one and the same? All you kids who have stolen my hairstyle, you've seen it? Half dark, half light. It's a trend now. Not that I've gotten any credit. You know who I would make a coat out of? If I could make a coat out of anyone in the world, I'd make a coat out of a barista. I don't like them at all. They're so judgy because sometimes you've had a long and stressful day. And you just want to go to what is it called? Starbucks. Stupid name for a coffee shop. Have you ever thought about that? Stupid. It has nothing to do with coffee. But nevertheless, you want to go to a Starbucks and get a hot chocolate and go home and bathe in some puppies and have a nice, relaxing evening. But the barista. Hot chocolate? That's all you want? Haven't you heard of a dark roast? Like, get your beanie-wearing ass out of my business, and then they ask for your name. Hello? That's your name? That's pretty crazy. Like, fuck off! No one likes baristas. I would be doing the world a favor if I made 1,000 coats out of baristas. Has anyone here ever been a barista? I hope you all have a lovely rest of your tour. Be sure to wish your tour guide luck on the way out. Ta-ta!
See what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? Absolute style icon. That fur coat, I do believe, was made out of Labradors? Yeah?
You're correct, darling.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Corolla. Oh my god. If we're not careful, she's literally going to make a coat out of us next. And what's up with the whole barista thing? I used to be a barista so I could pay through college. You know, I love Starbucks. It's so good. They do have some of the best hot chocolate in the entire world. Anyways, that was Corella's bill, ladies and gentlemen. Our next stop, she is the most bloodthirsty villain on this entire tour. Do we have any guesses? Possibly? No, 4 letters, starts with S, ends with car. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming up on Scar. Hope all of you have had dinner already, because I do believe that Scar is going to be pretty hungry tonight. So hopefully she doesn't eat any of you, but just be careful. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Scar.
Oh, lovely. Room service is here. I do thank you for bringing him alive this time. I do love to play with my food. A bit unseemly, but not unpalatable. All you'll need is a little garnish and then you'll be perfect.
Scar, you can't eat them just yet. They want to hear about your story. That's why we're here.
Well, if that isn't terrible service, I don't know what is. Anyway, it's about time someone asked me for my side of the story. I didn't want to kill my brother, you know. Not at first. All I wanted was to get rid of that little rat. I was next in line until that little hairball was born. And then my idiot brother.
His name is Mufasa.
Fool! Don't you dare speak that name in my presence. He is dead and gone, long forgotten. Anyways, he had to interfere, so we had to go. I did warn him, you know. I told him not to turn his back on me, but then again, he never really had a penchant for listening. He was born with the brawn, not the brains. Those were all left to me. Our parents called him King, you know. That's what Mufasa means. And you may be asking yourself, well, they did not call me Scar, by the way. You may be asking yourself, oh, Mr. Scar, but what did they call you? They called me Taka. And if you're not sure what that means, waste. But I proved them wrong. I was 10 times the king that Mufasa was. I was prepared. I had a plan. Perhaps you've forgotten that Simba abandoned his kingdom. I saved that pathetic little kingdom from the rule of a mere child. Because perhaps you've forgotten, he abandoned his kingdom getting nice and fat in the jungle while we all starved. It's pathetic. And I can guarantee you that he didn't think about his people during that time away. Not even once. He wasn't going to rush back in to save their souls. But after all that time, do you think he ever learned? No. He had gotten used to the lack of responsibility, to not have to care for anybody but himself. All that little boy ever wanted was glory. Selfish, stupid little boy. I was going to keep the lands lush and fed. If only those lionesses would have done their damn jobs, we never would have been in this mess. And the hyenas, they were to be our protection. Traitorous bastards. It was the perfect plan, and little Simba had to come back in and ruin everything. If it weren't for that imbecile. You all sanctify him as the hero. And yet, he stood there and watched as those damned hyenas ripped me apart. Perhaps in that way, we're not so different after all. But think what you like. Long live the king.
Thank you, Scar. Have a good night. Sorry, folks, if you have already not eaten dinner, I suggest not going to the same watering hole Scar is going to be eating at later tonight, or you might be next on the menu. Anyways, she does kind of have a point though with the whole sibling drama thing. I also have siblings. I'm assuming a lot of you guys also have some sibling drama. I remember when I was little, my older brother used to give me swirlies in the toilet whenever I would use all of his toothpaste, because I like to brush my teeth. But I used to do the same thing to my little sister when she used to steal all of my clothes, and I would just give her a bunch of swirlies too, because why not? That's what I thought you were supposed to do. And like nieces and nephews, don't even get me started. So in reality, I kind of do see how Scar can get a little bit upset because of that. I do sympathize with her, just a tad. Anyone else have siblings here?
Me.
No, you do? You got a little sister, little brother?
Little sister.
Little sister? Aw, disgusting. Yeah, I bet she's super cool. Did you ever give her swirlies? That sounds like a fun idea. Maybe you should try that the next time she steals your clothes. Anyways, that's enough about my siblings. But you know what I really do want to talk about? I want to talk about me and my great life with my fiance Spencer and how I even got this job in the first place. So unfortunately, after Spencer's demise, I ended up quitting Disney / getting fired because they only gave me like $20,000. I call it hush money because $20,000 will not cover a funeral, especially in the state of California where we were at Disneyland. And it was just really awful. I remember I didn't even leave my house for a few weeks at a time just because, why would I? I mean, good Lord, I met this man when I was 14 and I'm 27 now, so why would I want to continue the rest of my life? So after that, I spent a lot of time on the interwebs, specifically the dark web, because I was trying to find someone who could connect me, a living human being, with the dead. And I came across this absolutely wonderful woman. Her name is Dr. Facilier. I don't know if you've heard of her. She grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana. Great place. That is actually where Spencer and I were supposed to take our honeymoon. But unfortunately, we never got married because, you know, he got murdered. It's fine. It's fine. I use humor to cope with things. Pretty sure you've already figured that out by now. Anyway, so Dr. Facilier gave me a deal. She said that if I took these people on these ghost tours and was able to help some villains tell their stories to people like yourself, that she would allow me to have sort of like a FaceTime call with him so that I could say my goodbyes and then I could just wish him luck in the afterlife, if there is such a thing. I mean, I hope he's not swirling around with Hades in the underworld. That would not be very fun at all. Hopefully he's up there with Zeus on Olympus, but you never know. So that's why I want to check on Spencer and see how he is doing. So we are heading in the right direction, I do believe. Dr. Facilier said she'd be right around here in this little quad of buildings. I really, really want to make sure that I take you to the right place because, oh, I got a lot riding on this, folks. She said she was going to be right at this building, I do believe, but now that I'm thinking about it, she might be over here.
Welcome, ladies and
She's right
gentlemen. Cora, I see you've brought plenty of friends for us tonight. I hope you're all enjoying the tour. I guess it's my job to entertain you now. And I suppose since all the other villains have given you their stories, I should give you mine. My name, for those of you who don't know me, is Dr. Facilier, also known as the Shadow Man of New Orleans. But I wasn't always quite that powerful. You see, I grew up in the late 1800s in Louisiana in poverty, which isn't the most comfortable state of being, you might say. So I decided that I would pick up a few skills or abilities. First, it started with sleight of hand, then pickpocketing, and finally, cards. Tarot cards, to be precise. Now, I know many of you may associate these cards with the dark, evil magic, but I see them as a light at the end of a tunnel, something to illuminate our paths. I don't use these cards on myself, no. Instead, I use them to help people like you see the ends of your paths, from the past, the present, and the future as well. Now, I would love to show you my abilities with these cards, but I'm afraid tarot is a very personal matter, and we don't quite have enough time to get around to everybody tonight. But how about I tell you about another of my abilities, hypnosis. Now, this is something else you may have heard of. It's caught somewhere between the realms of science and magic. But why talk about hypnosis when I could show you? I'm going to need a volunteer from the audience. Oh, quite a lot of brave souls tonight. But why don't we go with someone we're both comfortable with? I'm sure you've made quite the connection with Cora in your time together tonight. Enough so that you'll trust that she won't trick you anyway. Cora, why don't you come on up here for me? Alright. I need you to watch my staff closely. When I count to 3, you'll fall into a deep sleep. 1, 2, 3. Now you see, Cora is in a deep trance. She can still move if guided, and is actually aware of everything going on around her, but incapable of doing anything about it. Let's wake her up now, shall we? On the count of 3, you will awaken. 1, 2, 3. On the count of 3, you will awaken. 1, 2, 3. Well, it seems my hypnosis abilities are not quite as sharp as they used to be. It has been 100 years after all. There used to be a fail-safe word that would snap her out of this immediately if said by a powerful being such as myself, but I've long since forgotten it. Don't worry though, she will snap out of it. Hypnosis always fades with time. And speaking of time, we better keep continuing the tour. We wouldn't want you to miss out on what we have left. Come along, Cora dear. So why don't you just follow me as we go and visit my last friend on the other side. I hope you've all been enjoying the tour. I know Cora here is an excellent tour guide. She's been quite a protege of mine lately. Now, does anybody have any favorite villains? No? That's fine. I know they're both characters, that's for sure. Scar can be a little much sometimes. I can't say that I've quite gotten over his pridefulness, but he's always good in a cinch. And I'm sure you met Cruella. She's very creative, but I can't say her new ideas for coats are quite in my taste. We did ask for a couple other villains to join us, but I'm afraid they were a little preoccupied with their own wrongdoings. Ursula was busy creating her own potions or whatever nonsense she wants to call magic. And we asked Captain Hook to lend a hand, but he was already down one, so we just kind of left it at that. Hopefully, the next time you all come, we will have a bigger and more vibrant tour for you all. Although I'm not sure how vibrant the dead can be, but we shall see. For now, though, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the road. We are now at our final guest, someone you may know very well, Mr. Hades, the ruler of the underworld.
Thank you, and welcome. Now, I know you've all heard the story, you've seen the movie, you've watched the play, you've seen something. And I'm sure you all recall what happened between me and that twerp. And I'm sure you recall what came of my fruitless stand against the high and mighty gods up on Olympus. I was unable to take my throne. But despite all this, I feel as though my story was portrayed rather truthfully. I don't like the depiction of me as some sort of idiot, but what happened, happened. And I'm not one to refute when I make a mistake. But I paid for that mistake gravely when Herc ended up tossing me in that swirling, whirling toilet bowl of the dead. Now, some of my villainous colleagues here were kind enough to help me escape that particular nightmare. The only kind ones in that cesspool of shit. And now you've heard their stories as well.
Yes, we all know that, but why don't we get to the real reason we're here?
Right. Well, I suppose then you're wondering why I brought you here if I didn't feel my story needed to be told. If I felt it was an accurate representation of what happened. The other roadside attractions here were keen to lead you on and fill your heads with all sorts of nonsense as to why you're here. But I don't like being dishonest. And in the sake of honesty, I'm going to tell you something that they have not. You're not here for some tour, redemption, for some sort of new perspective on us villains. No. No, you're here so I can collect your spirits. That's right. Oh, there's no use crying about it. There's no use trying to escape. Although I cannot collect your spirits myself because I'm in a position of power over the dead, you will be mine. And my dear friend, Dr. Facilier here, will help me to claim you mortals. Isn't that right, Doc?
Yes, but you're forgetting the best part. In exchange for these mortals, we villains go free. See, you thought this was the end of our story. It's actually the end of yours.
Oh, Miss Facilier. Medical school must not have taught you not to make deals with the devil. Sweetheart, I'm afraid that's just not true. You see, last time I made that sort of deal, allowing one person to escape in place of another, it didn't go so well for me. You know what they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Well, you can't fool me twice. No, you and the other villains, you're being taken as well. I know this may be disheartening to
I will
hear.
not kill these people for you.
Do you think you have a choice in this?
I have the tour guide under my thrall. I could just as easily enchant all the others too.
You think your power stands a chance against mine. I may not have your hypnosis voodoo, but I can just as easily snap the tour guide, as well as your other victims, right out of your magic. But as you will quickly discover, once you're dead, there's no snapping out of it, and you will remain eternally my bitch, under my watchful eye.
Don't you disrespect me, little man.
Do you forget where you are? You are in the underworld. This is my world, and if you try to mess with me, you'll be begging me for mercy on your soul.
Spencer, oh my god, is that you, baby?
You did that on purpose.
It's not my fault you can't keep one simple-minded human under your control. I've got millions in my domain.
As Dr. Vasilier said, while she hypnotized me, I know exactly what's going on, and I know what to do. Yo, hey, Dr. Vasilier, real quick though, so that was what we did. But we still have this deal where you get to see Spencer right at the end of this, no?
Can't you see things are much bigger than that in your stupid fiance?
I got that, but I love him, and you promised we had a contract. And, oh my gosh, I know a way that we can both get what we want. You need to take over the underworld, get rid of this little man. Little man, you said it yourself. And then I can see my fiance, and then you could have complete control over the dead. Yeah? Sound like a fun time?
This mortal rat has a point. You didn't earn this power. You were handed the underworld on a silver plate because of your brothers. You didn't work for any of this. I slaved away to gain my power. And I've been here for 100 years. I've gotten to talk to all those souls that you've disregarded. And they're not very happy, dudes. So why don't you say hello to my friends on the other side? You think you're so smart, don't you? But you're not free. Now I have all the power, and you're still stuck here with me.
Well, actually, Dr. Vasilier, if you read the terms and conditions of the contract you made with Hades, you can't kill anyone because you are powerless, because you have control over the dead. You can't kill us anymore. So I'm gonna take all my friends, and hopefully I can find another man to marry in here. And so we're gonna head out. But congrats.
I may not have you yet, but you'll be back. You will die in the end. Thank you for attending Ghost Tour!